Suwasiko manyako manyawa chamanyada.
Welcome to the Pesticide Control Office's Introduction to School IPM, or Integrated Pest Management. This brief training will give an overview of school IPM and how it may benefit the community. Historically, the Pesticide Control Office has partnered with the University of Arizona's Cooperative Extension to educate the community and train pesticide applicators regarding pest management. Don Gouge, an entomologist and community IPM expert with the University of Arizona, defines school IPM as an ecologically based pest management strategy that provides long-term management of pest problems with minimum impact on human health, the environment, and non-target organisms. IPM programs are educationally based and apply our knowledge of pest biology and its relationships within the environment to prevent and resolve pest problems. Through the implementation of an effective IPM program, the benefits to your school would include helping to manage pest-related concerns through low-risk methods, protecting humans and the environment, and saving financial resources. IPM is a process that will achieve long-term, environmentally and economically sound pest management through a wide variety of tactics. IPM is grounded in knowledge of pests and their behaviors, including the causes of pest problems and the education of all stakeholders about best practices. Control strategies in an IPM program include identifying structural and maintenance improvements to reduce the food, water, and shelter needed by pests. Since IPM focuses on correction and removal of the fundamental reasons why pests are present, pesticides are used only when necessary. Only the least risk products and application methods are used. Due to concerns about the use of pesticides around children, an educational facility may choose to adopt integrated pest management strategies as a way to reduce pesticide and pest-related risks in schools. The University of Arizona has developed a plan to assist educational institutions in developing an IPM plan. This plan, called Preparing Your School Integrated Pest Management IPM Plan, was developed by IPM experts and is a recommended resource to guide you through the planning stage. To have an effective IPM program, an educational facility should educate and communicate the concepts of IPM to its staff and stakeholders, and use a variety of tools and strategies to facilitate the practice of IPM to include these steps: pest identification, prevention, monitoring, identify control options, implement control options, and evaluation. The first step in an IPM program is to identify the pest issue. Whether the pest is a weed, insect, animal, microbe, or other organism, correct identification of the pest makes controlling it easier and often more effective. A mistake in identification can lead to improper control tactics that cost time and money. Pest identification can be accomplished by utilizing glue traps, black lights, and pest identification handbooks. Pest identification experts from a local academic institution may also be available to assist with pests that require further assessment. Once the pest or pests have been identified, the next step is to prevent the pest from accessing the facility. As was pointed out earlier, pests require food, water, and shelter to survive and thrive. These three crucial needs can be eliminated by maintaining school facilities in good operating condition, undertaking systematic planned inspections, and identifying and correcting any deficiencies and equipment maintenance issues on a proactive basis. This should be in the form of a plan with key elements identified in a checklist format. It is important to ensure best practice food storage and waste management protocols are in place and ensure that critical points of entry are properly pest-proofed. For example, against rodent entry and potential hiding places indoors are reduced. Remember, our food, water, and shelter can be a paradise for pests. The next step, monitoring, is an important requirement and the backbone of the IPM program. IPM monitoring is defined as regular and ongoing inspections of areas where pest problems may occur. Information gathered from these inspections should be documented and reported to the appropriate individuals responsible for resolving the pest issue. Pest activity monitoring inspections should be incorporated into the daily activities of school staff, both as a planned practice and as an awareness event. Staff training on monitoring practices includes what to look for, where to look, locations under risk, and well-defined and outlined methods to record and report the information. Monitoring the pest using insect monitoring traps in vulnerable high-risk areas such as kitchens and pantry areas is imperative. Light traps using different kinds of light sources may also be used in kitchen areas to attract and trap flying insects. Some light traps, such as bug zappers, contain electrical grids that kill and attract insects on contact. These are not recommended in food preparation areas. Rodent detection devices that use a non-toxic bait are advisable if rodents are a common problem. Next, we must identify control options. We want to use non-toxic methods first before we use a chemical control. Non-chemical controls include mechanical controls, cultural controls, and sanitation. Examples of mechanical controls are installing adequate door sweeps on interior entries and sealing utility entry points into a structure. Cultural controls include not allowing food items in classrooms or, when necessary, storing in a sealed container. Installing lids on outdoor trash receptacles and dumpsters and avoiding having standing water on outdoor areas are all examples of good sanitation practices. When all other control methods have been implemented, there may still be an issue that requires chemical or biological control. These methods should only be used when necessary and selecting the least toxic chemical available. After identifying our control options, we must begin to implement those methods and determine what acceptable pest threshold is required for the facility. An acceptable pest threshold is the number of pests that can be allowed before requiring action. The acceptable threshold for common pests such as cockroaches, rodents, ants, food-infesting pests, and stinging insects is 0 when they are indoors. There is usually no need for action in response to occasional invaders such as earwigs, crickets, or ground beetles, as these insects generally do not breed indoors. If such occasional invaders recur regularly, then a review of the exterior habitat, additional pest proofing, and or use of sticky traps may be sufficient to stop the problem. Your implementation of the IPM plan may rely on a contracted pest management business or involve trained maintenance staff to conduct mechanical and chemical controls. It is important that no matter who is implementing the plan, adherence to the IPM plan is a must for it to be successful. The final step of the IPM plan is evaluation. Periodically review the IPM plan to evaluate its effectiveness and determine if there is a need for updates or revisions to meet the school, community needs, and goals. Conduct annual evaluations of pesticide use to monitor trends in pesticide use, including sightings of pests and the quantity of pesticide used. The school should continue to educate and communicate the concepts of IPM to its staff and stakeholders and use a variety of tools and strategies to facilitate the practice of IPM, to include reviewing the steps of the plan: pest identification, prevention, monitoring, identify control options, implement control options, and evaluation. In summary, IPM is integrated because it brings together or integrates a range of biological, organic, cultural, mechanical, and chemical options for pest problems. It is about management because we can only manage pests. We cannot eliminate them. Integrated pest management rarely relies on just one tactic. It integrates tactics to prevent pests entirely or reduce them to levels we can live with. If you are interested in learning more about IPM or seeking to develop an IPM plan, please contact the Pesticide Control Office at area code 520-562-2234 or visit us on the web at www.gricdeq.org.